I want to find the limit as x approaches 2 of square root x plus 2 minus square root 2x plus 5 plus 1 over x squared minus 2x. So if I plug in 2, I get 0 over 0. So what I'm going to do is multiply top and the bottom by the three terms: square root x plus 2, square root 2x plus 5, and 1. The question is, what should I put as a coefficient? And when you're doing only two terms, you multiply by the conjugate. So you keep one of them the same, the other sign you change. Here we're going to keep one of the signs the same, and the other two signs are going to change. So the ones I'm going to choose are the negative will turn into a positive, and the positive is going to turn into a negative. Okay, so we kept the sign for square root of x plus 2 the same, and we changed the other two signs. So let's apply that to the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to multiply these. So I'm going to pretend like the two roots are one term. And then I'm going to FOIL it out. So I'm going to multiply the first two radicals. So the square root of x plus 2 minus square root of 2x plus 5 with the other two square roots. So there they're the same terms with the exception of the coefficient. So it's similar to like a minus b times a plus b, which is a squared minus b squared. Okay, next I'm going to do the outer ones. So I'm going to multiply by the negative, so it'll be negative square root of x plus 2 plus square root 2x plus 5. I'm going to do the inner ones. So I'm going to write this vertically. It'll be positive x plus 2 and positive square root 2x plus 5. And then we're going to do the last ones, which are negative 1. It's going to be all over. Here I'm going to factor out the x squared minus 2x as x minus 2. And then I'm going to have the other factor. Almost always you want to leave it alone. So you never want to distribute this out, because there's going to be some cancellation happening. Okay, let's simplify. These square roots are going to cancel. I have x minus 2x is negative x. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. I have a negative 1 here, so negative 3 is going to turn into negative 4. And here I have two copies of square root 2x plus 5. So there's going to be two of those. And the denominator is going to be the same, so we're not going to change that. So let's just rewrite this. If I plug in 2, I'm still going to be dividing by 0 with the x minus 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to break this up into two limits. I want to have one limit that involves the x minus 2 and the other limit that does not involve x minus 2. So the first one, we're going to leave the numerator the same. And then we're going to throw everything else to the other limit. So keep in mind, because we kept the numerator the same, we need 1 as this numerator. Okay, so what's left is x times square root of x plus 2 plus square root 2x plus 5 minus 1. Okay, so keep in mind here that this is not going to give you 0 in the denominator. So I can just plug in 2 there. So I can have 1 over 2 times square root 4 is 2, plus square root 9 is 3, minus 1. This thing is 4. So it's 2 times 4 is 8, so that would just be 1/8. I can bring this 1/8 out in front here, since I'm multiplying it. But now I still need to do some work, because I still have the x minus 2 in the denominator. So the question is, how do I deal with that x minus 2? The answer is to multiply it by the 3 terms of the numerator. So this is like the step where you take the conjugate. So we're going to keep one of the terms the same, the sign, and the other 2 terms are going to be different. We're going to change them. So let me just rewrite this. So we're going to have x 4 and 2 root 2x plus 5, but we're going to change 2 of them. Good candidates are the negatives, the negative x and the negative 4. So we'll just make them positive, and then we'll leave the 2 the same. Be positive. Okay, so we're going to group these. And then we're going to FOIL it out. Okay, so we're going to multiply these 2. So it's negative x times x, negative x squared, and negative 8x minus 16. Okay, so that's the first one. And then we're going to do the outer. So the 2 is going to distribute out to the negative x and negative 4. So we have negative 2x root 2x plus 5, and then negative 8 root 2x plus 5. We want to do the inner ones. So we have positive 2x times square root 2x plus 5, and then positive 8 square root 2x plus 5. And then we do the last ones. And for the last one, we're really just squaring the 2 times square root 2x plus 5, since they're the same term. And we'll get 4 times quantity 2x plus 5. Simplifying this, we see that these cancel. Okay, and let's not forget, we still have it over x minus 2 times quantity x plus 4 plus 2 root 2x plus 5. Okay, so we can distribute out this 4 to get 8x plus 20. The 8x's are going to cancel. I have negative 16 plus 20. That'll be negative 4. I'm sorry, positive 4. So this is all that's left now. Negative x squared plus 4. Let's rewrite this now. We have 1/8 times limit as x approaches 2, negative x squared plus 4, all over x minus 2 times quantity x plus 4 plus 2 root 2x plus 5. I can factor out the negative x squared plus 4. That would just be negative x plus 2 and x plus 2. The bottom is the same. Okay, notice that the negative x and the x are opposite signs. The 2 and the negative 2 are also opposite. So if I were to multiply the x minus 2 with a negative, I would get negative x plus 2. Okay. So then negative x plus 2 divided by x minus 2 would just be negative 1. And that's what we have here. So this thing turns into -1, which I'm just going to put the negative outside the limit. Okay, and have a -1/8. And now the remaining part here, if I plug in 2, I don't get 0. So I'm just going to plug it in. And okay, so I have 2 plus 4 on the bottom is 6, plus 2 root 2 times 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. So that's 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. And then 4 over 12 is 1 over 3. So this is the same thing as -1/8 times 1/3, which is -1 over 24. And that's my final limit.